Hey, you guys. I just wanted to say thank you to all of the people that write me about their spiritual journeys. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. Like, because it's such, the majority of people are unconscious. That is just the way life is. And to have people aware of their own spiritual journey and what they're learning and paying attention to it, that's my shit. So, I want to say thank you to everybody. It's a lot of people that keep up with my journey, and just where I've came from is so phenomenal over the past 3 years. And me being on YouTube and being able to have a log of it is just awesome, because I can remember a time when I first got on YouTube, I was receiving a lot of information, but I couldn't even talk about it. It was a lot at one time, and it didn't really make good sense at the time. Like, I didn't know how it tied in together, and I was really, really worried that the information would never, I knew how I felt and I knew what I knew, but it wasn't organized. Part of the brain's capability is putting things in neat little boxes in your head, storing it in this bin and in that bin. And it was like floating all over the damn place. And one minute I would get this type of information, the next minute I would get that type of information. And, I was talking to a friend, and they were saying that's what they were going through. And I was like, whoa, I've been there. Like, it was so funny to even listen to, because I was like, I remember that. And now where I am is really, you can shake off the conditioning that other people gave you, but it's really hard to shake off the conditioning you given yourself. And that's where I am right now. I'm shaking off the conditioning. I'm trying to unravel the conditioning that I put on myself, based on what I thought I needed to be and what my life needed to be. And it's a process. It's definitely a process, because once I became aware of the process, I could see the movement of the process. But it's a day-to-day process, because it's like some days I'm completely aware of my own power and who I really am. And some days that's like on the back burner, and I'm more immersed in the game of life and my roles and stuff, which is fine, because once you get to a point where you're never outside of who you really are, you're never forgetting, you're never tapping in, going right back into that unconscious conditioning of life, it does get more peaceful to play the game of life. But I had a big problem for a long time where a lot of my anger and frustration and fear lies. I'm a control freak. Even, like I said, I was getting all this information that was just all swirling around and changing it day to day. That was a hard time for me, even though it was an exhilarating moment in my spiritual journey. It was hard for me because I'm a control freak. I like to be in control. I make conscious choices. I don't never just react, based off emotions. I try to react consciously. Even if I want to get mad, it's a conscious decision. So it's hard for me to, understand that I'm not in control of everything. I've always tried my best to have plans in life and structure in life and control. I'm not a very spontaneous person as far as doing something completely out the box. I might be like, oh, I got a little time to kill. Let me, my baby and my wife is asleep and my other baby sleep. Let me go do a YouTube video. But that's generally how I function anyway, when I have a little bit of extra time. So it's not really spontaneity. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, one thing that I want to share that I am learning to do is accept that the human experience is based on choices. That is what separates the human being from the animals. They basically survive off instinct. We survive off choices. Okay, I guess that was my cat breaking something, because I don't hear any crying. It's not a baby. It's not my wife. Okay, let's get the shit out of there. So, I'm gonna kick that cat's ass. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so the human experience is based on choices. Now, I can always accept the mistakes that I made for myself. You know, the choices that I made based on my own circumstances. I've always had a problem with other people's choices influencing my circumstances. That is my biggest problem with my life. And that I pinpointed where the majority of my suffering, my unhappiness comes from is that I'm generally a peaceful person with myself. And I'm generally a peaceful person with other people. Like, somebody cut me off in traffic, I understand. That's a total stranger. But the people closest to me who make my life harder than it has to be, that is where I've always been angry at. Like, for instance, you know, I tell my kids to do something. They don't do it because they're kids. No other reason. I just can't accept the fact that their kids and their choices are going to influence my life. I will get so angry because it's like, if you do what I tell you to do, then life can be peaceful for me. But, you know, I'm accepting the fact that life just doesn't work that way, and it just is what it is. You know, other people's choices do have, and I think I'm ahead of the game compared to other people who have anger problems with everybody else. I really don't. It's just the people that are absolutely closest to me, which ain't that many people close to me that do that other than my kids and my wife. But I got to start accepting them for who they are, and their part in their own journey, you know, just coincides with my journey. And what the hell did she do? I know where she was at. She was on my table upstairs. Doggone, she will probably wake up my baby. Fucking cat. I hope she doesn't. These babies would give me the flux. Anyway, so where I am in my journey is really accepting that other people's karma has an effect on me. I used to always say, this is not my karma I'm paying for. This is your karma I'm paying for. Why do I have to pay for your karma? And it's just part of life. And I'm kind of accepting that, like, the decisions my wife makes will affect me. The decisions my kids make will affect me. And I have to let them just be who they are. And that is their part in their own journey, where they're making their own mistakes and learning from their own mistakes. Unfortunately, their mistakes affect my life. And it just is what it is. And I've always been so dead set on controlling, especially my children. But not even really controlling them, because I understand that they're going to do what they're going to do. But the way I react to it is so non-peaceful. Like, it's so angry and upsetting to me, because I'm like, oh, I'm just frustrated because I don't want life to be bumpy. I want it to be smooth. And for you know, I generally make my life smooth. Now, I'm going to give y'all an example of what I mean by other people's circumstances controlling my life, okay? Y'all ready? Okay, back in 2001, I told this story to somebody yesterday. I just decided I would share with y'all. Back in 2001, I was really not in a place where I was comfortable with myself because I was such an oddball. I was in my early 20s. This was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. I was like 23, 24. And by 24, I wasn't completely accepting of myself because I was so different from other people. So when I became a nurse, there was like this big phenomenon of all these young nurses in this place that I worked at. And, you know, of course, I wanted to fit in with them, and I'm thinking we're grown. You know, I didn't know people still acted like they did when they was in high school. I'm thinking, you know, this is I've been out of high school for 7 years. People are different. People still act like they did when they was in high school. I realize that now. So anyway, so all the girls were getting new cars. Everybody was getting brand new cars, fresh off the lot, just fresh. You know, so I run my ass out, and I get 2001 Chevy Colors. Love the car though. It had 4 miles on it. It was pretty. It was green. It was a 4-door, just clean ass car. Loved it. New car smell and everything. I basically got that car, and I could afford the car, even though this is like my first time being on my own paying bills, and I probably shouldn't have just jumped out with, you know, I don't have any credit. I had a high car note. And I think my car note was like $400 a month, y'all. Could you imagine, like 10, 11 years ago, $400 a month car note? I'm only making I'm not making that much. Then I got pregnant with my son. I get pregnant with my son, and they put me on bed rest. The car ends up getting repossessed before I had my son. So I didn't even have the car a year, you know. So a couple of years later, I ended up filing bankruptcy due to that car note on my, that car on my credit. Ended up filing for bankruptcy. So then a couple of years later, I wanted to buy a new car, and I had to deal with this bankruptcy. Now, take this back to, okay, I created the first circumstance. The second circumstance, I put on my baby father because he just would not help me pay bills. He wasn't shit, wasn't shit. He would not help me pay bills. My car got repossessed. Like, who does that? Who lets their future wife's car get repossessed, So I put that on him. Years later, I wanted a car, bought a car. Okay. Fast forward to Sanaya's dad. Yes, they're two different men. Fuck y'all. Anyway. Fast forward to Sanaya's dad. He gets my car shot up. And he gets my car shot up. I had the car for a little while, but he gets my car shot up. So now the insurance company is stalling on paying the car off. And I have to buy another car. So I buy another car, which, is the car I have now. I've had this car. I'm going to stop paying the car note now, but I've had it for years. Okay, the car note is like $500 a month. I really couldn't afford it, but I needed a car. I was pregnant. I was desperate. And instead of me shopping around, I just went for the first thing that they gave me. But I've always looked at it like it was his fault because he got my car shot up. Did y'all know he got my second car shot up a week after I bought the motherfucker? God rest his soul. But he got shot at 3 times. The third time was the charm. He ended up getting killed. Like, these niggas did not like him. So anyway, I've been stuck with this high-ass car note due to circumstances that somebody else created that I've always been kind of angry about. Now that the car note, I'm finna get ready to pay it off. I'm in a different place mentally. I'm in a look back period of, I've always held on to this anger. And mind you, after my baby father got killed, my parents told me to move in with them and save money for a house. Well, they took all my damn money. My car ended up getting repossessed again, but I got it back the same day. But, I think about that, and that's like their circumstances, because if they would have just left me the fuck alone and let me do it my way, my car wouldn't have got repossessed. But I'm listening to them thinking they're going to help me, and they ended up not helping me, which, as you can see, at the end of the day, this is why I'm such a control freak, and I'm dependent upon myself to do a lot of things. Okay? Just like my cousin, I made a video about me getting married. My cousin wants to be she's an aspiring wedding planner. She plans a lot of people's weddings. I'm such a control freak. I don't want nobody else planning my wedding because it's like, I might as well do it myself because I know what I like. I know what I'm going to like when I look at it. So what is the point of you going looking and then calling me talking about they have this, and that? You don't know my unique taste, which is very unique. So at the end of the day, I've always had anger about other people's circumstances controlling my life. Other people doing things that create my own circumstances. And I'm happy to say I'm working through it. And it's a good place to be in, because I can accept other people, especially people who don't have any control over my life. Like, right now I'm not working, so I don't have to deal with the whole stress of having a boss and stuff, which, I'm getting kind of scared to go back to work because I'm in such a peaceful place sitting in my house talking on YouTube. I'm at peace right now. But this to immerse myself in that whole bullshit ass world again of, and I've always been a real true blue person, which people don't like. And I've always had people put a target on my back for some unexplained reason. I ain't gonna say unexplained, but I am confrontational. I'm like, what is the problem? Let's sit down and work this out. I'm probably naive. Like, I don't have the type of capabilities of being phony because I know somebody's being phony to me. If I don't like you, I don't fuck with you. If I do like you, I fuck with you. It ain't no in between. Hey girl, I really can't stand you. I don't do that. So it's hard for me to function in the workforce because basically I've just realized people want you to be like them. If everybody's doing a certain way and everybody else is being phony, they want you to be phony along with them. They don't like me because, I'm like the person that is at a masquerade ball and everybody else has on masks and I'm walking around without a mask on. I don't understand the point of having the mask because I know who you are anyway. Because I can see your face. What do you need a mask for? You're hiding behind a mask thinking can't nobody see you. That you're incognito, and it's a half mask. It's a New Orleans mask. I see all of this. I see your eyes. I see you. I know. So instead of people just taking off their mask, they get mad at me like you don't belong at the masquerade ball because you're not. You're the oddball. You're the one walking around without a mask on. We're normal because all of us have masks on. You're the weird one who's choosing to walk around a masquerade ball without a mask on. So I don't go out a lot because I don't like being the only person walking around the masquerade ball without a mask on. So I stay in the house a lot. And it does bring, like I told one of my friends, I said, it's very easy to me for a Tibetan monk to reach enlightenment. They don't got to worry about what they're wearing. They don't got to worry about the bullshit. They don't got to worry about where they're living at. They don't got to worry about bills and kids and shit like that. They can concentrate and focus on shedding conditioning. It's a lot harder when you're doing it in the urban jungle with a bunch of motherfucking kids and a sick wife. So I pat myself on the back every day where I am in my spiritual journey because I think it's amazing that I remembered this early in the game, and a lot of people don't remember this early. So, I give myself that credit. I don't, I have a lot of conditioning to go through that. I still have conditioning on me that was put there from church, not even surrendering to my higher self because feeling like I'm not worthy of that power. What that sound like to you? What does that sound like? So, that's where I am. I'm pretty good, and I really don't expect too many views from my videos because I'm really open and honest about myself and who I am and where I'm going. And I really do that just to set an example and to let people know that they're not the only ones that go through the things that they go through. So very few people go through this. So I expect, years ago, I was just like, well, nobody watched my spiritual videos. They're good. I do think that when I'm gone, it'll be a good legacy for people to look back and see what type of person I really was. Because, don't nobody give a fuck about you as long as you here. And as soon as you're gone, motherfuckers gonna be, oh, she had a YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, she was deep, whatever. So, all right, you guys, I'm gone. Love you madly.